All right, y'all. Here we go. We got a little tea before this Sunday's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we felt like we needed to jump online and talk about it real quick. Okay. Now, listen, I don't know if you guys tuned in to our recap of Love and Marriage DC, baby, but this morning it was lit. So be sure to go and check out that video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and join the texting community so I can send you a text message every time a new video drops. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive into what we got to talk about today. We got quite the ponderosa with Sheree exposing Tyrone in tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And Martell, it sounds like he has a lot of regrets about the affair. Okay. Even going so far as to call Miss Ariane Curry 15% and Melody Holt his 85%. Oh, yes. So you know what? Let's dive on in to the Mel and Martell of it all, which, as you guys may know, was also an episode title for one of the episodes last season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, to dive in, Martell Holt, and this is coming from our friends over at Urban Bell Mag, but it's also taking from an panel clip on the Big Body Benz page on YouTube. I will place a link to the article and I will place a link to the actual YouTube video clip so you guys can watch both and support both. However, let's get into what was said about Ariane. Okay. Now, Martell is basically talking on the chemistry rejection panel. Okay. Now, he got into speaking about his marriage and his split to Melody Holt or Melody Shari. And he says, but I feel that rejection I was receiving, it seems as if that ladies don't get mad, but it seemed as if I had no other option but to be out. Y'all know Martell always go like, I mean, it don't matter what he do. He gonna try to throw that thing. He gonna try to boomerang the blame back onto Mel in some kind of way. Anyway, he said, I had no other option but to be out. The first time I met the particular person, it was the night my ex-wife was supposed to go with me to a barbecue. We got into it that night. She was on the computer in the bed and she made this statement to me. We got into it. She said, go out there and find you a girlfriend. Now, he says, I mentioned this on the show, and she admitted to that and all that. She said, go out and find you a girlfriend. And she was up in the bed on her computer. And I'm like, wow. So honestly, that got into my spirit, apparently, because that night I met the girl and I told her, listen, I want you to be my girlfriend. Okay. So he was just doing what Melody had told him to do. Okay. Allegedly. Okay. He was just doing what was requested of him from his wife. He was being a good husband and just saying, you know what? You told me to get a girlfriend, so that's what I'll do. Okay. Anyway, he talked about, how apparently he told, Miss Ariane that he was married that first day that they met. He allegedly always wore his wedding ring, and as a sign of his faithfulness to his marriage. Okay. But anyway, apparently, in comparison to Melody, he feels like, Ariane was only able to give him 15% of what he needed. This is what he had to say. He says, I think that was very foolish of me to do such a thing. But at the time, I wasn't thinking like, oh, my wife, she's giving me 15% and this person's giving me 15 or whatever. I wasn't thinking that. If I would have thought like that, I don't want that dang 15%. I'm going to stick in this house and sit my butt down somewhere. But that wasn't the case. I think I just wasn't thinking. You think? It was my wife's fault, y'all. My wife told me to go out and get a girlfriend. I don't think she was being sarcastic at all. I think that's what she told me to do it. I did it. I wore my wedding ring the whole time. So, I mean, I did everything I was supposed to do. You know what? I can't. I love it. You know what I love about it? He don't see nothing wrong. Like, I mean, he does, but he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? He does, but he doesn't. I don't know about what to say about the man. I mean, one nice thing we can say is the man is taking care of the kids. Okay. Hopefully he got us builder's license. Okay. Now, let's talk about Miss Sheree to the Whitfield, okay? And how she is exposing Mr. Tyrone. You know, the man that left her sitting and waiting around in the streets of Philadelphia, okay? In the streets of Philly. Mm, mm, mm. So anyway, there's a preview clip that just came out today, I believe. Okay. And shout out to our friends over at OMFG Reality TV. They always get the clips, okay, from the episodes. All right. So in this clip right here, you will see Sheree. She's doing what appears to be the podcast, okay, with her daughter. I think it's Tiara. I think her daughter is beautiful. Side note, and she is with Fatum, you know, her friend of the show for this season. There's another clip out there floating around of her and Fatum that you guys can check out also on OMFG Reality TV, along with some clips from Married to Medicine as well. So be sure to go on over there and check them out if you guys want a little taste and a little tidbit of what's going on tonight on the episodes, because you do know that tonight is Real Housewives of Atlanta and the premiere of Married to Medicine at 9:15. So that tells us that we have a supersized episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta tonight. With that being said, okay, let's talk about it. So in this clip, let me run down for you what's being said in the clip and what's happening. So during the podcast, there comes this point where there is some breaking news that her daughter reads while the podcast is happening. Okay. And so in the moment, what happens is, you know, she gets I guess she gets a text or something like that, a communication, if you will, probably from production. But anyway, it says breaking news. Sheree Whitfield and boyfriend Tyrone not speaking after the scene that almost caused him to go back to prison. So at that point, Sheree has had enough, okay? Has had enough. She claims because Tiara's like, who wrote this? Who's writing this? And Sheree says he wrote it. Okay. Tyrone wrote it, allegedly. Let me put this down here, okay? Because I this is what she is saying, okay? She's saying that he wrote it. He knew, she also goes on to say that he knew he was being filmed and that he wanted to be on TV because he wanted to be able to tell his side of the story. Now, was he trying to tell his side of the story of why he was in jail in the first place? Was that what he was going to tell? Okay. Because I don't know if he needs to tell that story, but what I think you just told is basically that Sheree is basically saying that the man is a lie. Okay. It's a lie. It's a lie. He knew he was being filmed. He wanted to be on TV and he wanted to tell his side of the story. She also goes on to say, because there are pictures of, I guess there were some pictures of him out there or something like that. She says that he leaked the pictures. Okay. I'm not sure which pictures we're referring to in this moment, but if you guys know, hit a brother up. Okay. And we'll talk about it in our recap for it tomorrow. But apparently the pictures that leaked, she's saying that he leaked them. She goes on to say that he's broke and he needs some money because I think Tiara says at some point in the clip that, you know, she heard that they pay for these types of articles, and I hear that they do too. You know, the people were saying that LVP was, you know, selling articles and things like that back in the day on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's why they ran off that show. Meanwhile, so Sheree says that he's broke and he needs some money, and he scammed her like he scammed the people out their money. Okay. Then her friend Fatum tells her that she needs to get away from that crook. And Fatum is like, I've been trying to hook her up with some people. So in my mind, let me just ask you this. Now, is he a crook and a liar because he stood you up? Or was he a crook and a liar and you knew it all along and you bypassed it because you was in love with the man? Riddle me that, okay? I just want to know. I think that's a valid question. Are you is Sheree saying these things out of anger, because of what she's hearing and what she has experienced in terms of being stood up? Or does she really believe that he's a crook and a liar, um, or that he's a scammer, and that now, did you always believe those things, or is he just these things now because he stood you up? I think that's a valid question. I would love for that question to be asked at the reunion or for somebody to ask it in an interview. I think it's a valid question. The people I feel like the people, i.e., me, want to know. Okay, so y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. We're gonna be watching and tune into the episode because we want let's keep these ratings going. Okay, we want these shows to do well, so make sure you guys are tuned in, tapped into tonight's episode, The Real Housewives of Atlanta at 8 p.m. on Bravo, and Married to Medicine at 9 p.m. On the Bravo. And then, of course, Love and Marriage Huntsville will be back in September the 10th, I think, on the OWN. Okay, so be sure to tap into to all of that. Now, also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button, and I will catch you in the next video.